Good evening, good morning, wherever you are in this world. I hope everyone is doing amazingly well. Let me know in the comments if you're live with me right now. Let me know. Let me know where you're tuning in from. As always, I'm always interested to know where you're tuning in from. So let me know where you're tuning in from. Hey, Afrobelle, how are you doing? Hope you're well. Where are you tuning in from? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in this world. If you're tuning now, let me know where you are tuning from. And if you are watching the replay, hello, I hope you're all doing well. Amazing. I'm glad you're well, Afrobelle from London. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Where's everyone else tuning in from? By the way, if you're watching the replay, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this live and if you enjoyed it too. So while you're typing, today's live, by the way, happy new month. Happy new month. I hope your month have started off well, amazingly well. My month has started off really well. And I wanted to, as always, come on live. Ukraine. Hey, from Ukraine. Funto. I wanted to come on live for the first couple of days of the month to, of course, which wish you a happy new month from London. Hey, Mandy. And also to talk. We need to talk tonight. And tonight's topic is really about cutting your little one's hair. So, I know some of you are probably thinking of cutting your little one's hair for various reasons, which you're going to go through very soon. But just let me know in a chat. Have you ever thought of cutting your little one's hair to start all over again? Are you thinking of it? Have you done it already? Let me know. Another Londoner, hey, let me know. Because seriously, we need to talk tonight. So let me know. Have you thought about cutting your little one's hair? Have you cut it already? I was only going to cut the side, Rachel. What's the reason for that? Why was you going to cut the side? Or why was you going to cut the side? Let me know. Now, there's various reasons why we would want to cut our hair, or our little one's hair, sorry. And I come across these reasons quite a lot, especially with my clients, my one-on-one clients. One of the major reasons is it's broken off dry hair. Okay. So some of the common reasons I get for wanting to cut your little one's hair is one, you want to cut it because you want it to grow faster. This one comes up a lot. You want your little one's hair to grow faster, so that's the reason why you want to cut it. Or you want your little one's hair to grow thicker, maybe thicker and fuller. That's another reason why you may want to cut your little one's hair. Or maybe your little one's hair is balding. So it's balding or they're losing hair, and you're thinking if you cut it off, you're going to get some good growth once you do that. Or you may be thinking of cutting your little one's hair because you want it to level out. So maybe right now it isn't even and you want to cut it so you can level it out. Or it could be that you are dealing with some pressures from family and friends. Maybe they are pressuring you to cut your little one's hair because they're commenting on how untidy or unkept your little one's hair looks. And that may be a reason why you want to cut it. You're probably fed up of all of the comments from people and you just want to cut it so everyone will just keep quiet. Or it could be that you just want a fresh start. So you want a fresh start, and that's simply the reason. Or it could be for religious reasons. You may be, for example, African and you want to cut it because maybe the part of Africa you're from, by the time your baby's one, that's kind of like your tradition to cut your baby's hair. That could also be a reason, or it could be for religious reasons, as I mentioned. So as you can see, there are several reasons why you may want to cut your little one's hair. And I want to hear from you guys on live right now. And also if you're watching the replay, what is the reason you want to cut your little one's hair? If you've thought about cutting your little one's hair, you're in a process of thinking about it, or you've already cut your little one's hair, what are some of the reasons why you have cut your little one's hair, or why you're thinking about it? Is any of the reasons I've mentioned part of the reason why you want to do that? So Neka, some Africans believe that you must cut first before starting their hair journey. Yes, I've heard that too. I've definitely heard that as well. And I believe some of them even believe if you cut the first hair, the hair will grow better. The texture will be nicer. I've heard that too. I don't know if you've heard that as well. But let me know in the chat, what are some of the reasons why you want to cut your little one's hair, or you've thought about cutting your little one's hair? And if you've done it already, what was your reason for cutting your little one's hair? Let me know in the comments. I'm sure you all have your personal reasons for doing this, but let me know. So once I can establish if we're on the same page, then I'll go into discussing the reasons why, or ask you some questions, some important questions to help you decide on whether you should cut your little one's hair or not. Yeah, I believe the answers to these questions will basically help you in making that decision on whether you should cut your little one's hair or not. So let me know your particular reasons for either wanting to cut your little one's hair, or if you've done it already, what was your personal reason? Now I know, Rachel, you said it's because it's broken off and it's dry hair. That's your main reason. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. So I'm going to wait a few more seconds to see what else you guys are saying. Welcome. Thanks for joining. By the way, for those that don't know me, you've never seen my face before, you've never been to any of my lives, my name is Novella. I am the founder of Naturally Crowned UK. If you haven't seen my face, you've probably heard my voice before behind the videos. I am also the voice behind the videos that you've watched, if you have watched any of my YouTube videos. And I basically coach moms on how to care for their children's natural hair. I really just want to help moms gain that knowledge in order to help to care for their children's hair, for it to thrive and be healthy. You've never thought of it. Okay, here to listen and learn. Okay, no problem at all. Okay, so for those that are in the process of wanting to cut their little one's hair, or have ever thought about it, I want you to ask yourself these following questions. If you were to cut your little one's hair, what are you going to do differently to take care of their hair? So after you've cut it, what's going to change? What are you going to do differently? If you can't answer that question, or if you don't know what you're going to do differently, I would think twice. Again, do you have a good regime in place? Do you have good hair care practice in place? If you don't have a good regime in place, or you don't have good hair care practices in place, or you don't even know what a good regime looks like for your little one, then again, I would suggest rethinking. Another thing is, do you have the right product types for your little one's regime? So when I say product types, I'm not talking about specific brands. I'm talking about the types of products. So like your shampoo, your conditioner, your moisturizers, your deep conditioners, for example, if it's time for you to be deep conditioning your little one's hair. Do you have your clarifying shampoos if it's time for clarifying your little one's hair? Like, do you have the right types of products based on the function of the product, and also based on your little one's hair needs and hair type? Do you have that? If you don't have that in place, again, I would reconsider cutting your little one's hair. Another thing is, do you have the knowledge, the right knowledge in place to care for your little one's hair after you cut it? So when I say the right knowledge, are you aware of the right techniques for detangling, for example? Are you aware of the right techniques for moisturizing your little one's hair? Are you aware of the right techniques for even shampooing your little one's hair? Like, knowledge is power and knowledge is key. If you don't have that knowledge of hair care itself, then again, I would advise you to reconsider if you're thinking of cutting your little one's hair. Have you seeked a professional, dermatologist, maybe a trichologist? Maybe the issue that you're seeing with your little one's hair in terms of balding or hair loss, maybe it's much deeper than you think. Maybe something's happening internally. Maybe there could be some nutritional deficiencies or vitamin deficiencies that you're not aware of. So maybe you need to seek professional help. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about getting in touch with a hair coach possibly to try and help you with your little one's hair, to help you, retain length, your little one retain length? Have you tried that before? Now, if you aren't able to answer any of those questions, then again, I would advise you to rethink. Now, there's no point in cutting your little one's hair if, for example, nothing else is going to change after you cut your little one's hair, like everything else remains the same. If your regime isn't good and your little one's hair was balding, breaking, or dry, cutting it isn't going to change anything. The only change that's going to happen is the actual haircut. That's it. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing to cut your little one's hair. What is bad is that if you cut your little one's hair and you go back to the same things you were doing. Another major thing as well is that, have you even identified what is causing the breakage or balding in the first place? If you don't know what's causing a breakage or balding in the first place, most likely when you cut your little one's hair, the same things are going to happen again. That actually reminds me of one of my clients that I worked with last year sometime. She had cut her little one's hair 4 times. 4 times, and each time she had cut her little one's hair, her main reason for cutting it was because it kept balding in the same areas. So she thought if she'd cut it, it would just start to grow back fuller for some reason. So the fourth time she cut it, and then it grew back again, the balding areas grew back again. And she was frustrated. So she contacted me and she said to me that she didn't understand why her little one's hair kept on balding. She had no idea what was going on. And she also mentioned that she'd cut her little one's hair 4 times. And each time she cut her little one's hair, every time it grew back, the balding areas grew back again. So what I did with her is I went through a whole regime to try and identify what was causing the balding in the first place. And I was able to identify several things. Several things were wrong with her hair care practices. Several things were wrong with even the types of products she was doing and her regime in general. So once I had figured out what was going on in the first place and kind of fixed everything, created a new regime with recommended products, hair care practices, techniques, everything, her daughter's hair has grown so much. Like, if I was to show you before and after, you'll be in shock how much her little one's hair has grown. And it's simply because now she's doing the right things. So I just wanted to throw that in there just to let you know that cutting your little one's hair doesn't solve any problems if you don't actually know what is causing the balding or the breakage in the first place. So once again, if you're thinking of cutting your little one's hair, please think twice. Ensure that you actually are going to do something different after you cut your little one's hair. Make sure that you understand the kind of regime that your little one's hair needs in order for it to thrive. Make sure you have the right types of products in your little one's regime. And if you need to seek help from a dermatologist, trichologist, or a hair coach, understand the difference as well and go and see someone so they can help you even further if you're not able to figure it out for yourself. So that's basically it, guys. That is a nutshell what I wanted to discuss with you before I answer all of your questions this evening. But it's really, really important that you don't just do things for the sake of it. You understand why you're doing certain things. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with wanting to cut your little one's hair. If you're cutting it for religious reasons, that's completely fine. If you're cutting it because you want to start again afresh, that's completely fine. But just make sure that after the cut, you know exactly what you're doing to care for your little one's hair in order for it to thrive. Otherwise, you're going to be disappointed and find yourself back to where you were before you had cut your little one's hair. Okay. better products. Okay, so ladies that are on here now, what questions do you have for me? Do you have any questions, any concerns, anything at all that's on your mind? Use these live sessions to get answers to any burning questions you have. So if you have any concerns, if you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments and I will do my best to answer your questions for you. So Rachel, are you saying you have a new regime now? You said a new regime, clarify once a month, and LCO method. Is this your new regime now? Hey Keisha, how are you? Thanks for joining. Any questions for me, Keisha? So you're thinking of cutting your little one's hair. I'm assuming that's what you're saying. You're thinking of cutting your little one's hair. Let me know the reason why you are cutting your little one's hair. Hopefully you were here from the beginning. You heard everything I had to say. So what's your reason for cutting your little one's hair, or for wanting to cut your little one's hair? Let me know. And for the others that are on here, if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay. Hey again, Keisha. So you're having problems with your 6-month old baby's hair is balding at the sides. Okay, so what could be happening here is several things. Normally, when you have a baby, normally the first 6 months of their life, they tend to bald. That's completely normal. Even if you have a good regime, you're using the right types of products, it is normal for them to bald, and it tends to happen because of their hormone levels dropping. So it's something called telogen effluvium, exactly the same as postpartum shedding that we mothers experience. They also experience that as well, where they lose some hair, or they experience like some kind of shedding of that sort, which may look like balding. However, after 6 months, you should start to see their hair grow back quite nicely. So if you have the right regime in place, you're using the right types of products and all of that good stuff, you should start to see from now that your little one's hair is picking up. So I wouldn't be too concerned. As long as you're doing all the right things, from now, you should start to see that your little one's hair is growing back nicely. But I would really make sure that, like I said, you have a good regime in place. You're washing your baby's hair often, once a week, for example. You're moisturizing well. You're protecting your baby's hair at night. All of those good things. You need to ensure that you're doing that in order for, the hair to retain length, because it is going to grow, but we need to make sure that it doesn't break off at the same time and you're retaining length. And also be careful or mindful of the styles you're doing as well. If you're doing any kind of tight styles or anything like that, it isn't going to help the situation. I hope that answers your question. But Keisha, if you are thinking of cutting your little one's hair for that reason, I would hold off. Like I said, around the 6-month mark, you should start to notice that your baby's hair is growing back nicely. Give it some time, have patience before you try to cut your baby's hair. Okay. Your daughter, sorry, is 2 now. How often do I trim, and is a deep conditioning needed? So normally from the age of 2, you start to notice that the hair needs that extra TLC, the extra conditioning from a deep conditioner. So normally around 2 years old, I do recommend to start to deep condition. So for your 2-year-old, if you started to notice that the hair needs a bit more conditioning, a bit more love, then definitely you can add deep conditioning to their regime. It's a great time to start. If you, for example, have a 2-year-old and their hair seems completely fine, and just a rinse out conditioner is fine for their hair, of course you can continue using that. But if you feel like their hair needs a bit more, of course, try a deep conditioner as well. When it comes to trimming your daughter's hair, from 2 is a good time to start. From 2 years old, you start to notice that the ends are becoming a bit more drier. You may start to notice more split ends, more single strand knots. You may start to notice more dryness on the ends. You may start to notice that when you plait or twist the hair, when you get near the ends, it becomes very thin. All of these are signs that your daughter's hair may need a trim. And normally, if you've never trimmed your daughter's hair, around 2 is when you start to notice these signs, and that's when I recommend you give your daughter a trim. So yes, you can definitely give your daughter a trim at this age. Um, you're welcome. So you're just having a hard time finding the right products for her. I would say the main reason why you're probably having a hard time finding products for your daughter is because you don't know what you're looking for. I find that a lot of moms that are struggling to find the right types of products is because of several things. They don't understand what they're working with, so their child's hair type. They don't understand the types of products they need. Like, at what age do I need a clarifying shampoo? Do I need just a regular shampoo? Do I need a deep conditioner? Do I need a conditioner? Like, what types of products do I even need? And like, what is the function of certain products? Um, yeah, so that's the main thing I find when moms are struggling with finding what types of products to use, is because one, they're probably also looking for products that are going to help grow their child's hair. So they're trying different products, and then they're finding that actually their little one's hair isn't really growing much more than it was previously, because the products in actual fact don't grow hair. So you're going to be trying to find different products for that particular reason, and you're going to be disappointed because products don't grow hair. So once you can understand what types of products I need, understand your little one's hair type and what her hair needs at this present stage, and then understand the types of products you need at this age, and also understand the basics around product ingredients, you're more likely to be able to find the right types of products. And also try and shut out what everyone else says, because everyone has their favorite products or everyone has their recommendations. So if you're listening to what others are saying, you're just going to be buying products for buying sake, just based on their recommendations. So as I said, it's important for you to really understand what types of products you need for your little one's hair, what is your little one's hair type and current hair needs, and then understand the basics when it comes to ingredients. That way you're going to be able to pick the right types of products to meet her hair needs currently. Um, My daughter's hair kept balding at the sides. Didn't know what to do till she stopped breastfeeding, and I realized it was the friction whilst breastfeeding. That could be a possibility, especially if she's always on you and you don't have anything kind of laying where head rests. That could also happen, and it could also happen from friction from being in their cot, for example. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Um, you're welcome. So Keisha, I just don't know if I have the right regime for her hair. Um, if what you're doing isn't working right now, most likely you don't have the right regime. Like, if you're still noticing certain things that you're not happy with, most likely you don't have the right regime. What I'll suggest, actually, if you look below this video, if you click the link below this video, I have a free regime guide, a free guide on how to create a regime for your little one. I would definitely suggest you click on that link below this video, below this live, download that guide. And in that guide, I kind of talk about the important components of a regime and basically how to build a regime. Definitely click on that and then go through that, and hopefully that will help you to create a regime for your little one. Hey, Nads. My child's hair was growing nicely, gaining length, retention. I've recently noticed that it has gone short and I don't know why. Interesting. Interesting. If it's getting shorter, it could be that breakage is happening. Something is happening, and the hair is breaking. So it could be maybe your the way you're detangling your little one's hair. It could be maybe you're not moisturizing as often as it needs to be moisturized, so it's becoming dry and it's breaking off. It could be that you don't even have the right regime for your little one's hair currently. So maybe you're not washing as often as you need to be washing the hair. Maybe you're not doing your treatments, like deep conditioning treatments for your little one's hair. There could be several reasons. It's hard for me to say exactly what your little one's dealing with in terms of breakage, why her hair is breaking, without actually understanding your little one's regime in full. And that's why I usually have my hair audit calls. When I have the hair audit calls, the 45-minute call, and I literally go through my clients' little one's regime in detail, and I'm able to really spot what is missing from their little one's regime and then offer them advice. But as I mentioned to you, it could be several things, several reasons why your little one's hair is becoming shorter, but it sounds like it could be breakage happening as well. How old is your little one, Nats? How old is she or he? You are welcome, Keisha. Yeah, Nats, how old is your daughter or your son? And also, when did you start noticing that the hair was getting short? Oh, he's 6. Okay. Okay, so it's a boy. So, with boys and boys' hair care, I feel like some moms feel like when they have sons, their regime has to be different from their girl children. And that's not the case. Like for me, I have a son, I have a daughter as well, and I treat their hair based on what their hair needs, not because they are, a boy or a girl. My son, for example, I deep condition his hair. I shampoo his hair, I clarify his hair. There's certain things that I do to his hair. I treat his hair like as if he was a girl. That's what some people tell me. Like, you treat your son's hair as if she was a girl. No, I treat his hair based on what his hair needs. That's what I give his hair. So for your son, ask yourself these questions like, are you treating his hair based on what his hair needs? Because maybe before, when you started noticing length, maybe, his hair needs have changed. Maybe his hair needs aren't the same as it was 2, 3 years ago. Maybe right now his hair needs something else and you're not giving his hair what it needs. Are you also trimming his hair when needed? As I mentioned, are you deep conditioning when needed? All of these things are really important. He's 6 years old. Do you give him any protein treatments to balance that moisture and protein out? Again, all of these things are important as well. I hope that helps, Nats. Have I missed anything? Yeah, so it seems like, what I'm seeing in the questions or the comments is very common things I tend to see all the time, and that is, balding, dryness, breakage, very, very similar things. And when I go back to the drawing board of these moms, what I realize is a very common similarity that's happened is, one, not having the right regime, secondly, sorry, not having the right types of products. Thirdly, not the right types of hair care practices. So they're probably doing styles that are causing the breakage or the balding. Those kind of things. There's always similar things. So I would say for anyone that's on this live or watching the replay, if you're noticing certain things with your little one's hair, that's their way or their hair's way of telling you that something needs to be changed or something is happening. So definitely review their regime. Go back to the drawing board, review their regime. And of course, if you need help, seek help. If it's not from me, from anyone else that you're comfortable with or that you trust, seek help from someone, because sometimes when you are looking at certain things, you may miss something. Whereas, for example, if you were to book me for a hair audit call or consultation, I will be able to spot certain things that you might not be able to spot. So if you do need help, definitely seek help from a hair coach. that can point you in the right direction or get you back on track with your little one's hair. Great. I'm glad it makes sense. You're welcome. You are welcome. Does anyone else have any more questions? Today was literally a quick live just to discuss about cutting your little one's hair. I really wanted to get that out. So hopefully, if you're on this call and you wanted to cut your little one's hair, you're thinking twice. And if you're watching the replay and you wanted to cut your little one's hair, hopefully you're thinking twice as well. You're welcome. I'm glad that's helpful. Great. Okay, so if no one has any questions, it is 10 o'clock now. I'm going to love and leave you, but I will be back on live. As I mentioned, these live sessions are great for you to ask me any of your burning questions, any concerns you may have. These live sessions are great for you to join to ask me those questions. And of course, I will be teaching certain things on this live. Sometimes it'll be short, sometimes it'll be a long live, just depending on how the live goes. But it seems like you've all asked your questions and you're all cool. So if that's the case, I am going to leave you and I will see you again live. But look out for a new video on Thursday from me. Yeah, and I look forward to your comments when you watch that video. Have a great evening, great day, afternoon, wherever you are in this world, and I will see you soon. Take care, guys. Bye.